welcome you all to today's media briefing on the release of new Index of Industrial Production series with 2022-23 as the base year. We have with us Secretary Mosby, Dr. Saurabh Garg, and other colleagues from the ministry to give us all the details on the subject. I welcome everybody along with the Secretary, sir. As you all know, the All India Index of Industrial Production is one of the country's most important high-frequency economic indicators, widely used for measuring short-term industrial performance, policy formulation, GDP estimation, and economic analysis. IIP plays an important role in understanding the short-term movement of the industrial sector and the broader economy, which is brought out on a monthly basis. Regular revisions of the base years of economic indicators like IIP are therefore essential to ensure that they remain representative of the current industrial activity and continue to accurately reflect evolving economic realities. In the light of the above, the new IIP series with the 2022-23 base year are being released today. So, to give us more details, we will first have a presentation by the Additional DG, Shri Dalip Singh, followed by remarks by the Secretary, sir. After that, there will be the question and answer session. So, I would like to invite the Additional DG, Shri Dalip Singh, for his presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Today we are here to release the new base year of Index of Industrial Production 22-23 and the results of the new series of IIP. So with that, we have a small presentation on what was done as part of the base revision exercise and how the process was accomplished. So, as you can see, this base revision exercise is a regular activity of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation for macro indicators such as GDP, CPI, and IIP. So, as part of this base revision, we have, as you can see, this we have been doing this activity since 1937 when the first base year was adopted. Thereafter, every few years, this base was changed, and this is now the 10th in the series base revision exercise. IIP is a key indicator for estimating quarterly GDP estimates. It is also used by RBI in their monetary policy discussions and updates. As it is as you can see, this is one of the most widely used short-term indicator of industrial production in the country. So with that purpose in view, because last series was operated in 2011-12, it is already, the base is old, so this exercise was undertaken. And for that purpose, we, the guidelines that are available for updation of the base year at the international level, they are called IRIIP, that is International Recommendations on IIP. And the purpose of this, as you can see, IIP base year revision is to ensure that it is in sync with the evolving industrial structure and the production patterns. What entails base year revision exercise? So just to give a few pointers to it, because the methodology requires to be updated keeping in view the complexity of the industrial sector, so review of methodology and conceptual issues is undertaken. Then we do expert consultation with stakeholders so that we ensure that whatever new data sets are available, they are taken into account for the purpose of IIP. Then the base requirement for updation of IIP that we have to have our industrial production basket, which is as per the latest trend. So we have to finalize the industrial product basket, and each item in that basket requires to be given a weight according to its relevance. So a weight updation for each item is undertaken. Thereafter, once this item basket is finalized, we have to identify from which factories the data is to be collected. So a panel of factories is identified for data collection, and for collecting, because it is a monthly index, so we have to collect monthly data on each item from the base year onwards. For example, the base year now is 22-23. So from April 22 onwards, we required the data on each item, production data on each item for each month. So once this data is received, thereafter we have to validate it, process it, compile various indices, and once the indices are available, we have to compare with the old series how they are working, what are the various trends, and then we release the new IIP series. This is the overall base revision exercise that we do. Now, how this was completed in actual thing? So, in order to guide the ministry on the conceptual and methodological aspects of it, a technical advisory committee was constituted in September 2024. So, as you can say, already more than 20 months have now passed. 11 meetings of this committee have happened to guide us in the revision exercise. In the meantime, we published 3 discussion papers on various aspects where we felt that there are methodological issues where we want to go to the stakeholders to know what are the best way to go forward. In addition to that, we also had 3 consultative workshops organized in Mumbai, Delhi and Chennai. Item baskets along with weights were finalized, as I discussed with you. Panel of factories was finalized because latest data that was available when we started this exercise was annual survey of industries 22-23. So based upon that, this panel of factories was finalized. Field investigators were deployed to collect this data, and the data collection, validation and processing was completed. Now the results of April 26, because it is a monthly series, so for April 26, we have prepared the quick estimates, which have been released today. Along with this April 26 quick estimates, we have also released the past data from base year onwards. That means 22-23 is the base year. So 23-24, 24-25 and 25-26, we have all the data is available. It has been posted on, it will be posted on the website of the ministry. So now I will share with you what major changes have taken place in 22-23 as compared to 2011-12. These are the major changes that I will talk about. First one is adoption of new base year. Sorry. Yeah, so these are the major changes that we have adopted. First one is adoption of the new base year, as we have talked about. Second is expanded scope and coverage. Third is enhanced granularity. Fourth is revamped item basket and updated weights. Fifth is substitution augmentation of factories and chain linked indices. And then last one is the value based compilation and the linking factor. So I will tell a brief about each one of these items. So first is that how did we come about this finalization of the base year as 22-23? So there were two main factors that were in favor of this year. So first one is that because all other major economic indicators like GDP and WPI, they have already planned that these results for GDP are already out with base year 22-23. So because there should be comparability and concordance with the other base year, so that's the one reason. And secondly, financial year 22-23 is considered as a normal year after the COVID-19 disruptions, with complete and reliable data available from the ASI 22-23. So these were the main factors which allowed us to zero in on 22-23 as the base year. Next is what additional coverage and scope that we have made in the new series. So as you can see, the green items are the ones which have been added now, which were not there in the previous series. For example, in mining and quarrying, earlier minor minerals were not covered. So now, because minor minerals are very, very important for the country, so we have included minor minerals in the item basket. Second is rare earth minerals. Again, they have become very important. So we want to monitor the production of the rare earth minerals in the country. So that's another item that has been added. Then manufacturing, all the divisions that were previously covered, same will be covered. Then electricity, we have added one which is gas supply. So the sector itself will now be known as electricity and gas supply. So this is new addition. Earlier gas supply was not included. And gas supply means it is a distribution of gas. Gas generation was already covered, but gas supply part of it was not there. Then a new sector which has been taken up now is water supply, sewerage and waste management. It was not there at all in the previous series. So this is a new sector that has been added in the coverage of IIP. So this is the expanded scope and coverage. Then we come to the granularity part of it. So as you can see, mining and quarrying, earlier we were bringing out only one index, that was mining and quarrying index. So now we will have three, within that three categories will be there: fuel minerals, metallic minerals and non-metallic minerals. So this is one. In electricity also, earlier there was only one index. Now will be within electricity we will also have index for non-renewable sources as well as renewable sources. So this way we will be able to capture the sustainable energy transition more effectively. Then we come to the what are the various changes in the basket of items. So we have given both weights and the item groups in the old series and the new series. So as you can see, earlier there were 407 items. Now there will be 463 items now will be there. And you can see majority of the increase is in the manufacturing sector, which has gone up from 405 to 455, and minor increases in other sectors. Now I have given here the weights for each of the categories at the NIC 2-digit level, because sectoral level weights, they are divided into industries, and the industrial weights at 2-digit level, 3-digit level and 4-digit level of the industry, and ultimately we reach at the product level. So for that purpose I have just highlighted what are the specific industries which have received more weights, which is elaborated in green, and in red where the weight has marginally declined. So as you can see, wearing apparels weight has little increased, paper and paper products also weight has increased. Manufacture of coke and refined petroleum products, earlier weight was 11.77, now it has gone down to 7.77. So it is a redistribution of weights across these categories. Similarly, for other categories, NIC division 21, basic pharmaceutical products, it has increased from 4.9 to 5.8. Basic metals, again earlier it was 12.8, now it will be 9.2. And last one is motor vehicles, which has increased from 4.8 to 6.4. Then additional improvements are in terms of value-based compilation. As you can see, production spans, there are many items where production span of an item exceeds more than 1 month. So that means in those situations it is difficult to get the value every month. So for such values, for such items, it is important we measure that item in value terms. So for that purpose, wherever such items were there, we have increased the coverage of value items from earlier 109 to 234. So many new items are being covered as part of the value measurement instead of the quantity measurement. And last one is the linking factor, that whenever new series is released, we have to provide a linking factor to the previous series. That is 11, 12 in this case. So those linking factors we are providing so that there is connectivity and concordance between the two series, and if somebody wants to go back to the previous series, then those numbers can be calculated. Then a major lacuna in the previous series was that whenever a factory went out of business or it changed its line of production, we were not able to get data, but we could not replace that factories to get a new factories. So this time in the new series, this methodology has been changed, and now that methodology provides that we should be able to change the factories whenever an old factory goes out or they change the line of production. So this is an important change that is going to happen in the new series. Another important aspect is the chain linked indices. So earlier because IIP is a fixed weight methodology we has been using. That means once we fix the weights in the base year, they continue for the next 10 years, whenever the series, till the time the series is in operation. But this chain linked methodology, it allows us to change the weights every year. So annual weight change is possible because your industry is evolving and weights are changing. So if you use the latest weights, it will your index will become contemporary. So for that purpose, chain linked indices methodology is considered very important, and many countries have migrated to the chain linked methodology. So in India also we plan to adopt the chain linked methodology, but first we will prepare them internally, and later on we will release the index on the chain linked basis as well. So now I come to the results. So we have just prepared a few slides on the various results that we have obtained as part of the series. So these are just, as you can see, these are the annual numbers that we have prepared. So because from 20 to 23, there are 3 years for which data is now available. So as you can see in the first graph, between this blue one is 11-12. So in 23-24, growth rate as part of the previous series was 5.9. Now it has increased to 6.7. For second year, that is 24-25, previous year series growth rate was 4%. Now it is 6.4. And for 25-26, it is 4.1. It has improved. So similarly, we have for all the series, we have for all the 3 years, we have given the growth rates as compared to the 2011-12. Similarly, we have also worked out these growth rates for all the annual growth rates for the use-based categories, that is primary goods. As you can see from the bars that changes as compared to 2011-12. Similarly, for intermediate goods, infrastructure and construction goods, then consumer durables and consumer non-durables. So that way, these are the annual growth rates. But if you want more details in terms of monthly changes, so entire series is available on our website, MOSPI website at the Sankhiki portal. These details will be available to you. So this is the final general month-wise graph for the last 13 months we have given. So as you can see, the broad trend here. So last April 26 growth rate is available at 4.9% now, which has been released today. For this is the first month of that release quick estimates that we are showing here. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thank Shri Dilip Singh ji for his comprehensive presentation. Now I would request the Secretary for his remarks on the new series and the data which has been released.
Thank you. I don't have much to say because the presentation has given the details. But just to mention that this is the third of the major indices that we have rebased. The CPI and GDP we did in February. And IIP required a time lag because it is based on the GDP figures. The weightages of the sectors are based on the national accounts. So we can only do it in a sequential manner, and that's the third one. So these are the three major macroeconomic indices which are used internationally and in India by all the media and other forecasters, credit rating agencies, etc. And so in a way it completes that troika. All of them are at the revised base of 22-23. As you would have seen in the basket for CPI, which was based on the consumption basket. And there were significant changes that you had seen. Similarly, the basket for IIP is based on the production basket, which is based on the national accounts, and the changes have already been highlighted. And I think both those baskets show that the growth of the economy and the fact, for example, that basic metals has come down, it shows that there is more value addition being done. There is greater weightages to plastics and rubber, which is to be expected as we grow. And I think the weightage for automobiles and trucks, that has significantly increased in the new basket. And the other thing which I would also like to highlight is that the gaps that we had in the previous IIP, we have filled that. Significant is gas supplies. As was mentioned, let me again mention that this is gas distribution that we are talking about. Gas production was already there, petroleum products production, but distribution system that was not there. And minor minerals is a major addition this time. Minor minerals is something which the state governments have full authority over. And minor minerals are also extensively used in the construction sector. So that was an area where the previous IIP did not cover that. And to that extent, the mining sector has been strengthened, as also with rare earth minerals. Among the manufacturing products, I think a list had been given out in the FAQs also. But things like CCTVs, things like radar and radio navigational aids, things like these have been added in the new series which were not there. And areas like fluorescent tubes and sewing machines, etc., they are no longer in the IIP, and there are a total of 64 items which have been dropped and considerable. So this reflects the changing pattern of the industrial sector. And of course, water supply, sewage, and waste management, that has been added. And I think the stress that has been given, whether you starting from Swachh Bharat in 2015 to the concept of life, which the Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned, lifestyle for environment, I think this also reflects to ensure that waste management, recycling efforts also get reflected appropriately in the industrial production. So these are some of the major changes. The last thing I would just like to mention is the fact that as an overall strategy, we've been trying to fill up data gaps that exist wherever. And on the GDP, if you look at it, the three main categories, agriculture, industries, and services. Agriculture has traditionally had a number of data sources and a lot of work because of the historical nature of being agricultural predominant economy. It's the industries and services sectors that we have tried to fill in the gaps. On the services, the all India, the Incorporated Service Sector Enterprises Survey, that is currently started going on. It's going on since 1st April. and we would have an independent survey for the formal service sector, just like we have the annual survey of industries for the manufacturing sector. ASI is a very old survey, more than 70 years old, but we did not have a corresponding survey for the service sector. So that gap we have filled up, especially given the fact that services account for 55% of the economy now. The second gap that we have filled up over the past 3 years is the annual survey of unincorporated sector enterprises, which covers both the manufacturing and service sector and looks at the informal sector. So if you look at the non-agriculture side, there's industries, there's manufacturing, formal services, and informal manufacturing and services. Now all the three basic areas would have independent surveys. IIP we already have for the manufacturing sector. I think we recently released a discussion paper for the ISP, the Index of Services Production, which we hope by next month we would have that out also. So that will fill the gap. And once we have sufficient data on, we have 3 years data for the unincorporated sector, that is some still work in progress on how we can fill up that particular gap. So that's where I'll end today, and would be happy to take any questions and all. And my team is here, they would be happy to respond.
Hi, sir. I'm Shubham from Reuters. Sir, according to the last slide, we saw that sequentially there's been a growth in IIP in April from 3.2% in March under the new series. What would you attribute that rise to? And would it be fair to say that there is not much impact on IIP or India's industrial output because of West Asia crisis?
Number one, the data is up to March, and now April data is being released. So obviously, and this reflects domestic production. So to that extent, domestic production may not be directly reflected. But if you see, one sector which has been reflected is the refined petroleum products, where you see a significant change.
Shishirji, would you like to ask?
Hi, sir. Good evening. Shishir here from Hindu Business Time. Sir, you are using WPI with 2011-12 as the base for deflator. And also, you have said that output PPI will be used for that. But that has yet to be made public. So, there are two questions. Do you see any discrepancies because of the 2011-12 base year in the WPI? And the second, when we will have the new output PPI index to be out, sir?
As you rightly mentioned, that we have indicated in our TAC report as well, that so far in 2011-12 we have been using WPI as the deflator for say 109 items. As you know, this generally if PPI is available, output PI, that should be a preferred indicator, because so far that has not been released, so it has not been used. So we will see the stability and reliability, usability of that index once it comes out. So as of now, we are continuing with our WPI indices for compilation of this IIP.
Yeah, but I think his question was, we are using WPI with the base of 22-23.
No, but that has not been made, sir. But that has not been made public.
Yes. So,
actually, so actually it has not been made public, but DPIIT will bring out this index. So internally we have taken that index from the DPIIT and we are using that.
So I think we did that primarily. We didn't want to first release a IIP with WPI 2011-12 and then within a few days, which is expected. I don't know whether DPIIT has formally announced the date, so it would not be right for me to say it. But we have used WPI 22-23, that data which has been made available internally to us, to take care of this issue, so that we don't have to change or make some modifications in the IIP of April. And we are expecting within the next few weeks, this will be in the public domain, so that you can also verify it. But having said that, let me also mention, we have mentioned this numerous times in the past, that in India, the output PPI and WPI are not substantially different because of the way we calculate WPI. So as and when the output PPI will become available, which is also expected very soon, given that DPIIT is working on that, we will study the stability of the output PPI and then at an appropriate time change from WPI to output PPI. But let me repeat that even if in the next few weeks, when DPI releases the output PPI, we will not be switching immediately to use of output PPI. We will continue to use WPI 22-23 and then switch after we have got some period of time of data, seen its stability, seen its resilience, examined it, and then do it.
Sapna?
Yeah, hi sir. So just a request to have the last slide again, was not able to see the numbers very clearly. The month-wise growth rates in IIP for last 13 months. And just take a click, sir. Bear with me for a minute. And so one basic broad question here is that, you mentioned like refined petroleum products, coke and stuff, and some other sectors, some other items also where the weightages come down, and of course, on the other hand, some weightages have gone up for some other items. So just wanted to figure out about this West Asia thing. You said, of course, this includes data up to March. I mean, this is March data basically. So this change that we have made in terms of the representation or the weightage for refined petroleum products, is this going to be like is this going to be like flexible? Because right now there's a West Asia impact. This will change over a period of time. So all those changes, of course, will keep reflecting, right?
No, see, the weight of the different items is based on the 22-23 production figures. So the weights will not change. The actual production is dependent on, obviously, what is the production in that particular month. But the sector weights will remain the same.
And sir, and consequently also for auto and other stuff, like the weights have gone up. So could you just give a small perspective on that?
You want to give the sector-wise changes?
Just the big ones and the broad ones, and why and where we go from here.
Where the weights are increased.
You can bring
Slide over here. Change कर दिया.
Yeah, these are the weight changes.
So basically, you can see the weight gone down in the NIC 19, that is manufacture of coke and refined petroleum. And in the second slide, there is a NIC 24, the basic metals. So these are the two main categories. They are still having the maximum share, but their weight from the 11-12 series to 22-23 has gone down. And the next, sir, you can see there is a pharma, its weight has gone up, and the motor vehicle and the trailer has gone up. So basically, the main industry which gain are the motor vehicle, pharma.
And why the basic metals and the petroleum has come down?
So basically, we have taken this share from.
It's working close to it.
Yeah. So these weight distribution is based on our annual survey of industries. So the manufacturing weight is received from the national accounts estimates. After manufacturing sector, we distribute that weight among these industry, 23 industry from our annual survey of industry for the year 22-23 as per their share in GVA.
So this reflects, as I mentioned, for example, basic metals, that there would be more manufacture of basic metals is there, but value addition is increased. So you would go into specialized metals, etc., and things like that.
It is share actually. So it is not like that it is going downwards. There is a growth in this sector also, but in 22-23, some sector performed better than this. So this is the share actually. So basically I am saying that it is a share. So basic metal industry is performing well, but another industry might be performing better than this. So these are the distribution of share actually.
The size of the pie has increased, but in that increase, the share, for example, rubber, pharmaceutical products, their share in the economy has increased considerably much more. So it's not that production of either coke, petroleum products, or basic metals has reduced. It's the share in the overall economy has reduced.
Surbhi? Next question from Surbhi. Idhar de dijiye.
Good evening, sir. This is Surbhi from Business Today. So one of the challenges with the IIP in the past has been the extreme volatility in the index. 1 month it goes up, then it goes down suddenly. So will this exercise, will it take care of that, sir? And so secondly, you spoke about the ISP which could come out from next month. So will you be releasing the index and data from next month? Just wanted to know.
Yeah. So the volatility is a reflection of what the production in that particular month is there. And that volatility could be for a number of factors, could be seasonality related. For example, if you see the October figures and you see it year to year, October is always the lowest. And that's because that's a festival season. The number of days that factories are closed is higher, and therefore that is reflected. It doesn't reflect any economic changes as such. So I'm not too sure whether volatility will be changed in the new IIP. But what some of the factors which were causing that is, for example, factories would close down or would substitute products. Something was manufacturing A and they would shift to X. So changes of those kinds will not impact volatility now. So to that extent. And as far as your second question is coming, we will come up with details on the ISP. The discussion paper has already been released, but we will do a similar kind of a release for the services production.
Okay, since he has the mic, he can ask the question.
Hi, Siddharth from the Indian Express. Couple of questions. One, the items whose production requires 1 month, I think we are doing value deflation for them. Could you share what's the share of these items in the entire index, which are being whose value is being deflated? Second, March is now 3.2. Old series it was 4.1. Is this the general trend across the old and new series, where growth rates are they coming down generally by and large? And this one final question: the chain index. Right now, the base here is. How will the weights be changed from year to year? Will it be, and which year will it be for? Like right now, we're doing 22, 23. So will it always be the next year? Let's say 23, 24, 24, 25, or could there be jumps?
Yeah, so first part you mentioned about the this value items. So we will provide a full list of items and against which what is the unit in which data will be collected. So it will be given, so you will know whether it is in rupees. If it is in rupees, it is value terms. Otherwise, it will be in kilos or tons or whatever, some other number will be there. Then second part was about growth rates coming down in few of the months. Yes, you are right, and I think part of the reason for that is, as you can see in the slide, that some of the major bigger sectors, for example, basic metals, they had very high weight in the last series. And now since you are shifting in 22, 23, and their weight has gone down. So proportionately, obviously, they are growing at the high growth, but because their weight is less, the overall growth will come down. So that has an impact, overall impact on the declining numbers in 22, 20. But I think over a period of time, it will become stable. Yeah. Then third part about the weights you have asked. As of now, because this is a fixed base series that we are releasing today, so weights will remain the same. But as and when we come out with the chain-based indices, chain-linked indices, so that we will start preparing internally now, but we will again see them for their stability and resilience for some time, and then we will bring them out. So in that chain-linked indices, weights will be changed year to year. So that methodology allows it. So every year, weights will be changed. So that is how it is. Thank you.
Next, Ruchi.
Thank you, ma'am. So much of the things that you said, you set out to do earlier this year have been done with the new series in IIP, CPI, GDP. What else is on cards as far as MOSPI is concerned? What will be some of the things that we guys should be looking forward to?
So let's focus on the IIP in this discussion. But all I can, that's why I'm saying that I gave an indication that we are focused on looking at what data gaps are there in the macroeconomic statistical landscape. And some of those we have already listed out. Some others which I didn't mention was, for example, PLFS now comes out monthly. That gives much more granular information. The ASUS comes out on a quarterly basis. The number of disaggregation that we are doing across CPI, GDP, IIP has increased so that it gives a more pixelated view of the economy. So broadly, our overall focus has been, number one, timeliness, to ensure that we bring out the different indices faster. We used to bring out IIP in 42 days, now we bring it out in 28. CPI we bring out in 12 days, which is among the best across globally. The GDP figures quarterly we bring out within 60 days, right? 2 months. Within 58 days, 28, 60 days. Within 60 days, we bring out the quarterly numbers. So we are looking at where we can reduce any of the surveys, annual surveys that we bring out. We bring them out within 90 to 120 days. So one is timeliness, that's a frequency. The second is looking at frequency. If you are bringing out something quarterly, can we bring it out monthly? If you are bringing out yearly, can we bring it out quarterly? PLFS, ASUS, that. The third is granularity. What is the level of granularity? If you are giving it out at the state level or at the national level, can we bring it out state level? If it is at state level, can we bring it out at sub-state level? If sectorally, how we can increase the sub-sectors? So timeliness, frequency, granularity, and the fourth is data gaps. So these are broadly the strategy that we have been following, and we will continue to look at that. And as and when we get feedback that this is an area that needs, I think a number of surveys that we have started. We are doing an income survey because that was seen as a gap in our system. Service sector survey I already mentioned. We had started a survey on cooperatives. So sectoral surveys that we are doing, that continues. So our discussions continue with ministries based on ministries' feedback and what is for use for government policy making. We are focused on ensuring that those data gaps get filled up.
I think that should be the last question.
Hi, Himanshi Bhardwaj from Business Standard. I just wanted to understand, is there a roadmap that the ministry is following in terms of the state level IIPs to make them more comparable with the all India IIPs?
Yeah, so in fact, even as part of the old series 2011-12 also, we are already working with the states, and about 24 states are already preparing their state level IIPs. We are following up with the remaining states that they should also start compiling their indices. There are some issues because some are compiling with monthly, some are compiling with quarterly frequency, so those kind of issues also there. For new series now, with the release of this index, states are already started working with us, and we will help them to move to the new base, that is 2022-23 for these 24 states immediately, and we will also work with the remaining states to take up the production of IIP for the new series. Yeah.
If I can just add, based on this and the earlier, our focus is data for development, which is the tagline of our ministry. And I think the Honorable Prime Minister in a number of meetings has exhorted that we must move towards more evidence-based policy making, more data-driven decision making. And I think all this, the work that is being done, is focused on that overall broad vision of ensuring more data-driven decision making, which has been mentioned by the Honorable Prime Minister on a number of occasions when he has addressed either civil servants or in general.
So, sir, with this, we come to the end of the media briefing. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. And I also thank the Secretary, sir, and dignitaries on the dais for their detailed explanation about the new series and its likely impact on the policy making. Thank you so much. Tea is there? You are all requested to join for tea upstairs on the first floor. Kindly join for tea on the first floor.